Hello everyone. Today I intend to introduce how to use the OINP Entrepreneur EOI calculator on our website. But before introducing the calculator, let me briefly explain this method of immigration to Canada. If you intend to immigrate to Canada and your destination is Ontario and you are a senior manager or an entrepreneur or a job creator or a business owner, then Ontario Entrepreneur Stream could be a potential option for you. However, you need to know about the minimum requirements and also about the point system and how to enter the system. That's why we have created this calculator on our website to assist you evaluate your potential for immigration to Canada under this option. The first thing is an article that I've written on settler.ca explaining the minimum requirements for Ontario Entrepreneur Stream or OINP-EN. If you intend to immigrate to Ontario, you need to keep in mind that your destination is very important. There are 3 potential regions in Ontario that you could target. One would be Toronto, CMA, or Census Metropolitan Area, or also known as Greater Toronto Area or GTA. The other option is that you would like to target somewhere outside Toronto, or maybe you want to be inside the GTA, but your intention is to invest in information communication technology industries or digital communications, or I call them ICT-DC. And I also call these 3 options TA, TB, and TC, depending on which option you pick, which is in GTA and any business, outside GTA, and also in GTA but ICT DC businesses. Then the investment that you need to make and other circumstances could change. So in terms of the experience, you need to show that in the past 6 months prior to submitting your application, you have at least 24 months of experience, either as a business owner or as a senior manager of a business. As a business owner, it means that you owned at least 1/3 of the business back home, and also you had an active role in the operation of company. So they are not looking for investors in businesses. They want to make sure that you also played an important role in that business. As a senior manager, obviously you were a manager who could be involved in major decision-making processes in the business. So we're looking at people who were involved with major decision-making processes of the business, like hiring, firing, budgeting, foreseeing the future of the company, signing agreements with other entities, and so on and so forth. In terms of net worth, if you belong to Group TA, that is any business in Greater Toronto Area, then your minimum net worth needs to be $800,000. But if you are targeting outside GTA, or if you are thinking about an ICT-DC business, then in those situations, your minimum net worth needs to be $400,000. Remember, these are the minimums. In terms of investment, in Group TA, you need to invest at least $600,000 in Ontario economy and in your business. And under Group TB and TC, we're looking at a minimum investment of $200,000. However, the minimum investment cannot include working capital, wages paid to the applicant and their family members, and cash or cash equivalents. The other question is about minimum equity requirements, Ontario Entrepreneur Stream. You need to know that you must own at least 1/3 of the target business in Ontario. Regardless, you also need to become an active manager of the target business. Your investment cannot primarily target capital gains, dividends, or deriving interest. And you also need to know, depending on which area you're targeting, there are certain businesses that are not acceptable. And in terms of job creation, you need to create at least 2 full-time job positions for Canadians or permanent residents of Canada if you belong to Group TA, but if you belong to Group TB or TC, the minimum job creation is 1 full-time job. On top of that, if you intend to purchase an existing business in Ontario, then you must pay an exploratory visit to Canada and Ontario. The duration of that exploratory visit is not important. However, you need to show that you actively try to investigate the opportunities in Ontario, and also your visit to Ontario took place in the past 12 months before submitting your application. If you have a business partner, keep that in mind, that whatever minimum is required for you, those minimum requirements are also there for your business partner. In other words, if both of you are immigrating to Canada, then whatever net worth requirement is for you, you cannot split it with your partner. They also need to meet those minimum requirements. Are the minimums enough? Unfortunately, they are not enough. You also need to be able to have enough number of points, and that's why we have created a calculator. But before I show you the calculator, I quickly review those points that you could gain. So the maximum number of points that you could receive are 200, and they are divided into 3 major sections. So the first section is called human capital factors, that you could receive up to 80 points. The second one is investment factors, that you could receive up to 46 points. And the last group or section is business concept, that you could receive up to 74 points. What you need to know is that part of business concept points depends on the decisions by the officer. And also, if you receive less than 37 points under business concept, unfortunately, you do not qualify for application at all. In terms of the breakdown of human capital factors, they look at your business experience and you receive up to 25 points. They look at your past specific experience. I show you those options. You receive up to 35 points, level of education up to 10 points, and official language ability up to 10 points. At the time of expression of interest, you do not need to take an IELTS test or a language test. However, if you have not taken an official language test, then unfortunately you cannot claim points. But remember, even if you receive enough number of points and you become a candidate, eventually when you're applying for permanent residency, you need to present the language test results, and that's why eventually you need to enhance your language abilities and take an official test. In terms of investment factors, you could receive up to 15 points because of your net worth, up to 25 points because of the investment amount, and also if you have paid a visit to Ontario, you could receive 6 points. In terms of the Ontario Entrepreneur points based on the business concept factor, For your business model, we can actually break it down into 4 elements. For description of the proposed business, you could receive up to 15 points, another 15 points for market research, up to 10 points for key sector and economic benefit, and another up to 10 points because of the investment allocation. And also, and these are, by the way, the factors that highly depend on the immigration officer and the decision they make. In terms of your business location, you could receive up to 10 points, job creation up to 7 points, and if those jobs are NOC 0, A, or B jobs, then you could receive up to 7 points. But without further ado, let me show you the OINP Entrepreneur Stream EOI calculator, and that will better show you how to use this calculator to calculate your points. So the first question is that choose one of the following options. If both apply to you, then choose the option that is more recent and you can provide more documents. So in other words, you cannot apply both as a business owner or a senior manager. You need to pick one of these, and obviously you pick the one that is, you can present better documents for that, and of course also it's more recent. So let's say I pick I'm a business owner. The next question is that how many months of business ownership experience have you had in the past 5 years? Again, if you pick less than 24 months, you receive a message that says, unfortunately, you do not meet the minimum requirements and you cannot apply. So obviously we pick another option. So let's say between 48 and 59 months. The next question are those questions that I told you could bring you up to 35 points. So if you pick all these 3 options, then you receive up to 30 points. If you just pick one of them, you receive only 15 points. And here the first option is that I have experience in high growth business that showed at least a 20% increase in revenue in 2 consecutive years, obviously in the past 60 months. The next one, at least 20% of my business in at least 2 previous years has been at the export of goods or services to foreign markets. The next one is my experience in the past 5 years is in the same comparable industry that I'm going to do business in Ontario. So let's say I pick 2 of these options. The next question is that what is your highest level of education? If you have no post-secondary education, you won't receive points. So post-secondary or degree diploma, 2 years program, or a 3-year program. So let's say I have done a 3-year program. The next option is that have you taken an official English or French language test? Even if you haven't and you click no, we give you the opportunity to at least let us know how much English or French you know. But if you click yes, then you need to pick which official test you have taken. Currently, the only official tests available are IELTS General, CELPIP General for English, and TEF Canada or TCF Canada for French. So let's say I pick IELTS, and as you can see now, it asks me about my scores. And obviously, you need to be truthful about the results that you have received from your actual IELTS test that you have taken in the last, at most, 2 years ago. So it needs to be a recent test that you have taken. So let's say I get the highest scores under all the abilities. Now we have reached to the end of our step 1. That's when I need to click next on the lower right corner. And then we go to step 2. Here it asks me, where is your destination or investment sector? If you remember that those options, TA or outside GTA and so on. So let's say I intend to target outside GTA. The reason I pick this option because there are more future questions that will be asked based on picking this option. Then it asks me how much net worth I have. Again, if I try to click less than $400,000, it says that you do not meet the minimum requirements. So I pick another option, let's say 400 to almost $1 million. And then they ask me how much investment you are going to make. So let's say between $200,000 and $499.99 and $99.99, whatever. And then the next question is that have you completed at least one business related visit to Ontario? Let's say no. And then we are at the end of step 2. So I click next on the lower right corner. Here it wants me to self-evaluate my business concept. Obviously, it is up to the officer to make that decision, but at least it shows us how confident you are in your business concept. So you click, for example, let's say I click fair for all of them. So I just pick mid-range. And then the next question is that where do you intend to establish your business in Canada? Now here, if I select my destination is somewhere that the population is less than 100,000 people, I receive extra points for that. And that's why I picked outside GTA, because we have this option. So let me just pick this option that it will be somewhere that the population is between 100,000 and 175,000. I still receive some points because of that. And then the next question is that how many jobs are you going to create for Canadians or permanent residents of Canada in Ontario? And then I say I would like to create 3 jobs, 3 to 4 jobs. And then the next question, how many of those jobs will be NOC 0, A or B? And we have explained what NOC 0 and A or B means. So NOC 0 are managerial jobs. NOC A are jobs that usually you need to complete a university degree. And NOC B jobs are usually the jobs that you need to complete a college diploma. So let's say I pick 2 or more, and that's it. That's the end of the story. So I click next, and that's when it makes the calculation. So as you can see, it says, thank you for answering the questions in this calculator, on this calculator. Based on your personal answers, your total score is 130. However, since your final score depends on the officer, it could fall anywhere between 106 to 156. And if you would like us to help you with the process, that's when you can enter your name, your email address, and your WhatsApp number or your phone number. Keep that in mind that if you don't do this, we won't collect your information. So that so far you haven't shared anything with us, just you self-calculated information. But if you decide, you put in your information and click send, then the system will send your name, your email address, your phone number through email with the answers that you have given to the questions to us. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Al Parsai. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant.